Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is the first of the month, October 1st, 2018. Let me give a shout out to my man, Truth Monster. He wanted to play some Young MC Bust a Move, a classic 80s rap joint right here, late 80s. Man, I know most of you guys have heard this one. This is a classic. Shout out to my man, Truth Monster, for that one. What's good, people? Hope you guys are doing well. It is Monday, I know, beginning of the week. But let me tell you, I had an excellent time over the weekend with the Off the Chain episode number 10, where we do live call-ins with subscribers and fans. And man, we had a blast. Over the weekend, we talked about a little bit more about Very. I had my man Mark Allen call in. Also had my guy Joseph Harrell call in. He's the co-founder of Cage Chain, which his organization actually helped get 2 cryptocurrency bills passed in California this week, which is epic. This is something groundbreaking, and it's good to see that happen. And he was, ironically enough, I met him down at the Litecoin summit, and I saw an article before I started the live stream, and he's like, I was like, man, I wonder if this is the one that he had passed through. And I hit him up. He's like, yeah. So had him jump on the call, and that was great as well. But today, guys, we are going to be talking about, this caught my eye because someone told me about Caitlin Long. She's a former Morgan Stanley exec. She's now like deeply into the whole crypto thing. And we're going to look at an article that she talks about how Wall Street wants to ruin Bitcoin. Man, I'm very interested to see what she has to say about this. So we're going to take a look at the article, and I'm just going to read a couple of snippets from the article because it's fairly long. There's a video that actually goes along with this as well, so you can watch the whole interview if you would like. But that's the first article, and then the second article is about Stellar. Stellar actually launches the first zero-fee decentralized exchange called StellarX, so that's great, with fiat deposits too. So this is crazy. I'm loving it. They're pushing the envelope. This is what I like to see, and we're going to cover that today as well. But you guys know first the routine. We got to look at that market cap, currently at 223 billion. Bitcoin's dominance is around 51%. And not too much to really cover on price action today. It's kind of early in the morning, so things definitely can change quickly in this game. We're pivoting right around that 6,600 area. I can extend this outward even some more because we haven't even tested that. I'm thinking that we're just going to trend until we get up here, and maybe this is a pennant forming here where this green line intersects the 6,800. So maybe we don't see a breakout until we get close to the end of that pennant here. So if I draw, I'm just going to try to pull this outward as far as possible. You kind of get the picture there. As we get closer to here, we can see something like this, and then an explosion upward or down. You never know 100% with this technical analysis, because at any point we can have, very bearish event or news come out and it just changes the whole direction. So this technical analysis stuff is never 100%, not even 80%. I would say around 60, 65%. Make sure you don't go all in on moves and positions. But let's go ahead and take a look at this first article. It's actually an interview out of CCN. Former Morgan Stanley exec Caitlin Long on how Wall Street wants to ruin Bitcoin. Article starts off by kind of noting here that this is part 1 in a multi-part series exploring the dangers of rehypothecation and commingling in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency assets that can occur once Wall Street begins offering crypto products. Part 1 is an interview with Caitlin Long, and subsequent parts will ask the question, how did we get to the place that we are where laws look like this? Yeah, no doubt. So Caitlin Long is a 22-year Wall Street vet with an impressive career inside of and outside of the crypto space. She started out as an associate at Salomon Brothers, now Citigroup, before becoming a managing director at Credit Suisse, and finally heading up Morgan Stanley's Pension Solutions Group. As it turns out, Long's extensive experience on Wall Street, in addition to her Harvard Law degree, give her some unique insight into things that most cryptocurrency investors aren't going to have top of the mind, but the institutional investors have been dealing with for years. It is Long's impressive background combined with a unique recognition of the opportunity to make Wyoming a crypto haven and a passion for doing what was necessary to achieve this goal that put her in the unique position of understanding everything that is wrong with our current system and the opportunities that blockchain and especially Bitcoin give the financial services industry to ameliorate its past mistakes. So again, there's a video. You guys should really check this out. I'll link it in the description of this video so you guys will have a direct link to it, but check it out. It's about 45 minutes, but well worth it if you're really into knowing and understanding like cryptocurrencies, this system, this paradigm, what the old paradigm is or was, and how to look out for the signs for the same things that happen, because I'm a firm believer that I think the same things are happening or setting up to happen in Bitcoin. So that's why this article really caught my eye. And on top of that, one of the callers in over the weekend mentioned Caitlin Long, and just so happened here's an article about it. So the first question that CCN asked Caitlin was, would you talk a little bit about the crypto problem, how the regulations allow that to happen? So she says, well, there's fault tolerance in the system. It stems from the fact that traders are not required to be settled instantly, which for your crypto listeners is going to sound really strange because your traders literally go in the next block. If you're talking about the Bitcoin blockchain, you can see them within minutes. On the Ethereum blockchain, your actual trades are right there, and that's not the way Wall Street works. Wall Street just settles trades. When I started in 1994, the industry was 5 days after the trade date, T+5, and now it's 2 days after the trade date. We just went from T+3 to T+2 this year, but it's still 2 days. And she says here, obviously, delayed settlement is not a technological problem. It's long since not been a technological problem anymore. So why is it that Wall Street is stuck with this crazy practice of not settling trades in near real time? She says the answer is it has to do with market structures. Now, all of these market structures that we've been left with that were designed to try and help Wall Street settle the increasing trading volumes on the New York Stock Exchange in the 1970s, which essentially said, why don't we immobilize shares instead of literally running share certificates back and forth across all the brokerage firms? Which is why if you do go down to the New York Stock Exchange in New York, that's why all the brokerage firms were located right there, because they literally were running paper securities back and forth to each other every day. And then they got overwhelmed with it, and they said, why don't we just immobilize them in a vault somewhere, and everybody will actually own a certificate? That's a claim against the share. So instead of owning the real thing, everybody now owns a paper claim against the real thing. And the real thing is immobilized in a vault at a company called DTC. Seed & Co., I think, is who it's assigned to, if I'm not mistaken. A big, huge company that is the legal owner of 99.9% of securities issued and outstanding in the United States. She goes on to say here, most people don't realize that if you don't own the actual paper certificate, you don't own your securities. The DTC does. What you own is an IOU, and that IOU is from a leveraged financial institution that might default. So behind the scenes, all of these different institutions that were designed to clear and net settle transactions that gave rise to this settlement delay, those institutions haven't been done away with, even though the technology problem that created them long ago was solved. So I'm just going to stop there, because this, I don't know, many of you should know this. I don't know everyone's knowledge on how, equity markets work, financial markets, whatnot. So basically, I'm going to try to break it down in layman's terms. Essentially, your E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, all of these guys where you guys think you're buying a stock of Apple, you're actually not. It's almost like the banking system where it's a credit that you own this share of stock, but honestly, you don't. It's an IOU. right? Technically, I've read somewhere where there are about 2 to 3 times as many shares outstanding for a particular company than there really are. So it's been rehypothecated 2 to 3 times. And so you can see how if stuff hits the fan and everyone wants to cash in, there's an issue, right? This same thing can happen in cryptocurrencies. And this kind of drives home the point that I was trying to make over the weekend on the Off the Chain episode number 10, is that we have to be very careful about letting other institutions hold our cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. It can be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, whatever it is. You have to hold, and you should hold, your private keys and hold your own coins, other than if you need to trade, but even that is going to be eliminated with decentralized exchanges, which is the next article I'm going to read. But man, you need to hold your own keys, because eventually they'll be able to say, okay, we can see through our reports that X amount of Bitcoin or crypto, let's just broaden it, crypto, stay in our possession, so we can rehypothecate. And every time someone buys a new Bitcoin, hey, we won't go buy a new Bitcoin. We'll just say it's a new Bitcoin and credit them that. And if they need to withdraw it, then we'll allow them to send it somewhere else outside of their side chains, right? This stuff is dangerous, and this is why I was telling you guys over the weekend on the call that I had with a couple of people. We were talking about XLM or Ripple, right? And why I really want people to educate themselves on it. And if you buy Ripple, you're supporting that ecosystem. Yeah, you may buy, my guy out in the UK, Nathan, he said, buy it for financial gain, and then use those profits to make other purchases in crypto. And that's cool, but at the end of the day, you're supporting that system and you're bumping the price up. You're bumping the price up. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you own those crypto in your possession, and just have that be a practice. So I'm going to go on, skip a couple of questions here. This one, it looks like may go over what I was just talking about. So CCN asks, how common is the over issuance of shares as it happened in the Dole Food situation in the traditional stock markets? And guess what she says here? She says it's very common. It happens every day, but it is a matter of degree. And so essentially, it all gets back to the delayed settlement that we talked about earlier, plus securities lending, and the fact that these brokers and clearinghouses and custodians are making money off securities lending, and they're allowed to. And again, it's in the legal agreements. The CFTC and FTC allow the clearinghouses to do it. What I've experienced is that failures to delivery in securities lending can happen on almost a daily basis, especially for something that's a hard to deliver security. A hard to deliver security would be something that is very scarce and very difficult to find a borrower in the security. There are failures to deliver every day. She says here, here's another shocking statistic. The market where this happens the most is in the U.S. Treasury bond market, of course, and the Federal Reserve actually encourages all of this. It is the means by which the Fed institutes its monetary policy. So then CCN says, wow, it almost sounds corrupt. If you're advising backed, what are you telling them to do? So Caitlin says, well, I'm not advising back, to be clear. They put out an interesting statement today, and it directly spoke to some of the critiques that I and others have made about the fact that they're creating more paper claims to Bitcoin than they have real Bitcoin in their warehouse. And they didn't actually answer the question. They did actually say something very positive, which I gave them credit for, which is that they're not going to allow any margin on the physical settled Bitcoin contracts and no leverage in the contracts. But based on what I just walked you through, the devil is always in the details. So I'm going to stop there. And I agree, the devil is always in the details, and we all know how this game goes. Wall Street is here to make money, so it's almost like the drug game. If I have a drug, I'm going to cut it so I can make more profit. Sorry to use a shrewd example like that, but it's the same thing here. If I have a Bitcoin, well, why don't I just rehypothecate it, and now I can make more money off that one Bitcoin. Same thing in my opinion. So watch that video, the full 45-minute interview. Very good. And again, you know, my channel is just to try to help you guys get an understanding about this financial system, because I didn't know. I was ignorant up until 2008, 2009 is when I started doing my research and really diving deep into this whole game and figuring out all this stuff, like this rehypothecation stuff and all of that, man. It just blew my mind. And so I think it's best that you guys start to do that if you're truly into this whole, what do you want to call it, money 3.0? I don't know if you want to say it's 3.0. This cryptocurrency movement, definitely educate yourselves, and it will help you out. And maybe we collectively can not go through the same pitfalls and hurdles that we did in this previous system, because it's horrible, man. It's horrible. But I won't read the whole article. I'll let you guys check it out. The second article, on a more upbeat note, Stellar, this is out of CoinGate. Stellar launches world's first zero-fee decentralized exchange called StellarX with fiat deposits. All right, while XRP is slowly shifting its focus to offering its products to crypto exchanges, Stellar too doesn't stand far behind. In fact, Stellar has gone a step ahead and has launched a completely new decentralized exchange on its own blockchain called the StellarX. StellarX, it says, is the first full-featured trading app for Stellar's universal marketplace. It was created by a team with deep user-friendly building experience and showcased a wide variety of assets, cryptos, fiat, tethers, commodities, bonds, and etc. That's crazy. This is dope. I'm definitely going to check this out. According to the announcement, StellarX, which is a product of a new company formed by Chain and Lightyear called Interstellar, offers similar user control to its Ethereum blockchain counterparts, including IDX and EtherDelta. To add to its moat over other exchanges, StellarX comes free. The Stellar network charges a flat per transaction fee and as an anti-spam measure, but the fee is so low they refund it out of pocket for every trade made on StellarX. Network fee refunds are bundled into a single payment and issued each week. StellarX pays all network fees due to its unique consensus mechanism that does not require work or stake. Again, these are these blockchain 3.0 projects, guys. This is where you'll really see real use case for any dApp on the blockchain. It's got to be in this format where there isn't a requirement for network fees and it's fast. The exchange is completely transparent, as everything meaningful that happens on StellarX is on chain, and so the world can see it. The announcement provides an insight into the transparency parameters as it stated. The final paragraph here says StellarX could multiply Stellar Lumen's reach and its token price. Known for being pitted directly against XRP in a battle for the cross-border payment market, Stellar finds the same foe in a battle of powering exchanges. Being a third-party client built on top of Stellar's open marketplace, StellarX will definitely multiply the reach of Stellar Lumens in hands of a vast population which currently doesn't own any. If StellarX can develop its promising features while remaining effectively free to use, it could bring the Stellar Exchange universe into much broader use. StellarX is a strong positive for XLM adoption. The coin is currently placed 6th on the cryptocurrency list by market cap and trades at a price of 25 cents. Yes, this is good, and I'm just telling you, I've been putting it off, but I promise this week I'm going to buy some Stellar. This is what I'm talking about. This is some groundbreaking stuff, and this is pushing the crypto community forward. Not going to look for banksters to help them be more efficient in robbing us, right? You guys let me know your thoughts on this. Make sure you definitely like and subscribe. Please don't forget to do that, and also share this video. Click that bell too if you're already subbed to this channel. But that's pretty much it for today, ladies and gents. That's my 2 Satoshis for October 1st, 2018. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out. Ha!